Hello, thanks for joining. Welcome to the Seasoned Spouse Live. And today I'm going to be reading a selection from my free ebook, which is called Military Spouse 101, 101 Things You Need to Know About Military Life. It is a free ebook that is available on my blog, which is theseasonedspouse.com. And this ebook I wrote to help military spouses who are new to military life or recently dating a service member and wanting to know more about what to expect from deployments or from getting married into the military and paperwork and navigating on base, things like that. So today I am pleased to read some of the excerpts from the book just for you. And I wanted to give you a little background. You can see that in our house, books are a big deal. I love to read. Fun fact, I was actually an English major in college. And conveniently, my husband also loves to read. He is a bit of a history buff. So all of these lovely books go with us during all of our PCS moves. They've been overseas and back. So reading and writing is a big deal in our house. And in fact, over here, this is the first book I published. This is my book, Welcome to Rota, which I wrote specifically for military spouses moving to Naval Station Rota, Spain. And this is a picture I took from Rota. It's a beautiful base, it's a beautiful town, but it's a difficult move to go overseas and learn a new culture. Hey, Brittany, thanks for joining. So I wrote this book to help military spouses who are moving overseas, just to get through all the challenges of packing and adjusting and deciding where to live and where to send the kids to school and all those difficult choices. So this is the first book I wrote and published, and it's available on Amazon. It's available on my website. And I hope it was helpful, Brittany, during your recent move overseas. So that one's available on Amazon. But the excerpt I'm going to read today is from my free ebook, which is on my website. So the free book is called Military Spouse 101, and it has 7 chapters or 7 little sections. Each one is about a different aspect of military life or a different section of things to know, such as 7 things you need to know before deployment, or 12 things you absolutely should do once deployment has started, and things like that. So today I am reading the section which is 15 military pro tips from the seasoned spouse. That's me. Tip number 1, always keep your ID card with you. Keep it in a designated, easy to reach spot in your wallet so you can pull it out quickly when going through the gate or to the commissary or to the base medical center. But don't keep it in your car where it could be stolen. I have gone through the inconvenience at least once or twice of having a military ID replaced or renewed, and it's a big deal. So always keep it close, keep it safe, and have it in a convenient place that you can whip out when you're going through the gate. Because I swear, you show your ID card like 15 times a day sometimes. Tip number 2, don't go to the commissary on payday. Everyone in the military is paid on the same day, the 1st and the 15th of every month. So when you first move to a military base, you might not realize what day it is, or you might just think it's a great time to do your grocery shopping, and the lines will be absolutely all the way back through the store, and everything is crowded and everyone's frustrated. So not the best day to go to the commissary. Tip number 3, the commissary is often closed on Mondays. This depends on the size of your base and the size of your commissary. Some of them are open 7 days a week, but the smaller ones and the ones overseas are closed on Mondays, which is not a great day to do your shopping. So most bases do have a small convenience store that you can get some milk and bread and basic things, but they really don't have actual groceries on a Monday. Tip number 4, military time is based on a 24-hour clock. So instead of using 5 p.m., which could potentially get confused with 5 a.m., service members say 1700. To figure out the afternoon and evening hours, just add 12 to everything. So 1 p.m. becomes 1300, 8 p.m., 2000, etc. Tip number 5, everyone should stop for colors. Each morning on base, flags are raised at a short ceremony called Réveillé, which is French for wake up. If you are outside and hear bugle music, you should stop walking and face the nearest flagpole. Once the flag is raised, there's a quick bugle blast, and then everyone is free to move again. On base, they will stop traffic and cease any activities for colors. The flags are all taken down at sunset at a similar quick ceremony called taps. Same rule of respect applies. So if you hear the music and you're not sure what to do, just stop like everyone else and look for the nearest flagpole. Tip number 6, uniform rules. When the service member is in uniform, they must follow a few general rules. For example, if they're using a cell phone, they have to stop walking to talk on the phone. They should not be eating or chewing gum while walking in uniform. They must keep their hands out of their pockets and keep their right hand free to salute an officer. So you can't hold their right hand. Technically, you're not supposed to hold hands or show any PDA in uniform. So, depending how new your service member is to military life and how much of a stickler they are for the rules, they may actually offer you an arm to escort you. Tip number 7, base hospital wait times can be long. If you're going to a hospital on base, which you have a choice between TRICARE Prime and TRICARE Standard, you should schedule appointments on base far in advance. Try to arrive on time and plan to be there for a few hours. Picking up prescriptions in the pharmacy can take an extra hour at some large bases. So I ran into the problem when I had recently moved to a new base with a huge medical center that I scheduled an appointment for the morning when my older kids would be at school and I could take my younger kid to their checkup. And they needed some special prescription medicine. So I got my number and I waited at the pharmacy, and I didn't realize that it was going to take a whole hour just to get the medicine. And I was running into school drop-up time or school pickup time where I needed to go get my kids at school. And I ended up having to call some new friends that I had just met the week before to walk my kids home from school because I was stuck at this medical center that had been like a 10 a.m. appointment that turned into making me late for school pickup in the afternoon. So that's something you need to plan for when you're choosing between TRICARE Standard and TRICARE Prime. Tip number 8, always ask for a military discount. Many stores, restaurants, attractions, and online retailers offer a 10% discount for military who show a valid ID. Even if it's not posted in the store, sometimes you just need to ask. So don't feel afraid to. The worst they can say is no. Tip number 9, hurry up and wait is the military lifestyle. So the joke in the military is that you are always hurrying up for something, getting orders, putting in a request, etc. But no matter how much you hustle, there will always be a waiting game. So you just need to practice patience. That's a tough one. Tip number 10, don't write anything on the calendar in pen. Unfortunately, military plans change a lot. You will need to be flexible and do a lot of erasing and adjusting. Sometimes your service member will be off on holidays and sometimes they won't. Sometimes they will get leave for visitors and sometimes it will get canceled at the last minute. So whenever you're buying plane tickets, always get the refundable tickets. Tip number 11, don't compare your life to other girlfriends or wives. And this is one that I had to learn the hard way at our first duty station. As you get to know people in the unit, it can seem normal to, thanks Brittany, that's a good tip, to use dry erase boards instead of a pen on the calendar. So as you get to know people in the unit, it can seem normal to observe their lives and how much time they spend together when the service member is home from work, etc. Don't fall into this trap. Even in the same unit, there are many different ranks and different jobs. Some people simply have longer hours or more demanding bosses than others. So don't worry about when the neighbor gets home or how often your friend's husband calls during deployment. Talk to your own service member about your concerns and your expectations before you go comparing your life to others. Tip number 12, forgive the mess. Even service members who are neat and organized at work may be messy at home. At least I know mine is. There will be gear everywhere sometimes, before a field op, after a field op, before a deployment, after a deployment. You will be asked often when you last saw an important piece of gear, like their cover or their glow belt. And usually they're asking you at 5 o'clock in the morning. Just do your best to remember where things are and confine the gear to piles or boxes. Which brings me to the next point. Tip number 13, prepare to give up your closet. This one I learned as soon as I married my husband. We moved into an apartment together, which was a 3-bedroom apartment, so pretty large for a newlywed couple that had no children and no pets. And I was amazed that he instantly claimed every single closet in that apartment. Yep, even if you are a girl with a ton of clothes, the service member has a ton of uniforms, and they all have to be hung up. And there will be gear, lots of gear. So the service member will probably need a large closet for all their stuff, even if you live in a small apartment. Tip number 14. Make friends quickly and say goodbye slowly. When you move every few years, you have to develop some ninja skills to making new friends. Get out and explore, try new activities, just say hi and talk to people. You will make great friends at each duty station, but then you will start the slow process of saying goodbye. So a year before you move, start saying goodbye to some of your favorite places. Check off those bucket list items. A month before you leave, start saying goodbye to some of your friends. Plan a going away party. Make one last visit to their house. You know it's never really goodbye because it's just see you later. The military is small and you may meet again at another base. Finally, tip number 15, keep a positive attitude. No one can be happy and cheerful every day, and that's okay. But having a good attitude will take you far in military life. Try to laugh at the things that go wrong. Always look for the good in every situation. Don't believe all the negative things you hear about a certain duty station or a certain job. There's always something good to be found. Don't let yourself get caught up in the missed holidays or the lonely nights. Instead, celebrate the time you do have together. It's okay to mourn a little when you move and leave a piece of your heart at one duty station, but then stay engaged and involved at the next one too. So that is the 15 military pro tips from the seasoned spouse. That was a reading from my ebook, Military Spouse 101, 101 Tips You Need to Know About Military Life. And the ebook is available for free on my website. All you have to do is sign up on the email list or on the drop-down menu that is on the site. So I can post a link below. But if you haven't joined already, I encourage you to do that. You get the free ebook immediately, and then I will send you occasional updates with other discounts and other offers and new blog posts as they come up. So if you have any questions about military life or about any of those tips or about the ebook, feel free to ask them. You can post them anytime, and I always respond. And that has been my ebook reading for today. So thank you for joining me on Facebook Live, and I will see you next Monday.